Good morning and welcome. My name is Michelle Treasure. I serve as the Homelessness Services Coordinator with the City of Sioux Falls. Today I'm here to share updates on a few projects that we have going on and a couple new things involving some of the partners that we have here at the city. On August 19th of this year, our City Council passed a new dwelling ordinance. This ordinance prohibits tents and dwellings in public places and establishes clear procedures for addressing these dwellings. We appreciated the City Council's support for this ordinance, as our goal is really to get people connected to services, to the existing network of providers that we already have here in our city. Key things to note in this ordinance were that contacting outreach services is our first priority. We also want to be able to provide a 24-hour notice within this ordinance to folks so that they have a little bit of time before we would then have to remove any of their items, dwellings, as well as providing short-term storage for those individuals as well. This included our Parks Department, our Sioux Falls Police Department, as well as our outreach team. All of these individuals have been trained on this protocol to ensure that we're approaching this with compassion. This summer, we also had emphasized approach in our downtown area. We focused on collaboration with the DTSF ambassadors, our South Dakota Urban Indian Health Woke project team, and the Sioux Falls Police Department resource officers. We saw great results with this collaboration, responding to 19 complaints to the downtown area, providing housing to 11 individuals, and our downtown Sioux Falls ambassadors responded to 1,800 total tasks from January to September 2025. These tasks can be anything like trash, providing a friendly face to individuals, graffiti, and then also helping those that are experiencing homelessness. Also last week, I provided our City Council with an update on our progress on our Community Extreme Weather Plan. This was a model that I pulled from a Built for Zero model that Kansas City implemented last winter. And so really, I took this initiative and tried to replicate it for what it might look like here in Sioux Falls. The goal of this plan is to ensure that no one in Sioux Falls suffers weather-related harm or death this winter. The community plan is built on 5 pillars. This plan was put together by Minnehaha County and several other nonprofits that came together just to say, hey, what are our priorities for this winter? We decided that living outside is dangerous, continuous assessment of emergency shelter is vital, wraparound services are critical. One size does not fit all, meaning that not every shelter is meant for every person and that we continually need to be assessing what that looks like for our community, and that family reunification is a priority. In the past year, we have seen over 100 family reunifications within our partners to get people back home and reunified with loved ones after coming to Sioux Falls. Sometimes people don't want to be here. They may have come for a medical emergency or things like that. So that has been a very successful thing that we've engaged in. It's important to note that this type of coordination is nothing new. This is something that has been done year after year after year, and our providers really put a lot of effort into making sure that the safety and well-being of individuals is at the highest priority. What's new about this is this outward communication. We've never really developed something that the city or our community can see. Our community is united to the commitment to ensure that every person has access to safe shelter, moving people out of the cold and into warmth and providing stability. The city recently concluded this year's Cash Handouts Don't Help campaign, but the message will remain relevant. The successful marketing campaign encouraged people to support local nonprofit organizations rather than giving cash handouts directly to individuals. The goal of this campaign was to redirect donations toward effective long-term solutions, reduce nuisance and safety concern linked to direct cash exchanges, and promote community-wide awareness and better ways to help. Due to this campaign's success, we do plan to bring this back again next spring and summer as a seasonal reminder for our community. As we have said previously, addressing homelessness requires effective collaboration among many, many partners. This includes working with our county, our state partners, our faith-based communities, and our local nonprofits. We focus on increasing collaboration, and the public to provide, we really are looking at trying to provide more of a comprehensive approach, and this effective collaboration is really what we remain steady on. As we continue to work together to better address the root causes of homelessness and connect individuals with the resources that they need, we will update our newly created webpage with some of the work that we're doing. So you can visit siouxfalls.gov/homelessness for more information. With that, I will take any questions.
Michelle, when it comes to the panhandling, could you go over why it's so important not to hand out money directly to people?
Yeah, I think most of what we based this campaign on was anecdotal stories that we heard from people who had experienced being that individual who received that cash. We had stories from individuals that would receive large amounts of money and unfortunately then consume large amounts of alcohol. We would find individuals passed out and needing medical attention. So we just really saw some significant and severe situations where really the root of that was receiving cash from people handing it through vehicles or on the corners. So as we saw just more nuisance activity that also was, it stemmed from some of that, we just really thought, hey, how do we take some of these stories that we're hearing from individuals, what we see happening, what we're hearing from our business partners in our downtown area and across the community really, and try to develop a plan that really would help everyone.
So you're bringing this program back, so you must see some progress.
Yeah, we did. Our the impressions were, I believe it was 8.9 million impressions that we had with the campaign. We had, and really we just saw almost little to no panhandling in our downtown area. Every now and then you may see someone, but we just really feel like even visually, which wasn't something that we measured, but as you drive through that area, we just really saw that there wasn't really much of it going on.
You saw a decrease. What are impressions? You talked about impressions.
Yeah, so people visiting the website, people clicking on the link, wanting to learn more. There were a couple different options. There was social media videos that people could look at. There was a web page that people could click on, which we saw success in. People were saying, okay, so what do I do now? You're saying I shouldn't do this, so what should I do now? So then it would lead people to that web page to say, okay, these are the nonprofits that we work with. Here's how you get involved.
Will the program look any different next year or pretty much the same?
I think we're looking at pretty much a copy and paste, maybe a couple different tweaks. We haven't quite got that far yet here this winter. Later on, we'll start to plan that. But we just saw such great success with it. And we've added a couple more signs as well throughout our community where we've felt like maybe it could be impactful too. So we'll continue to do that and assess where needed.
One last question, and that would be any message to the public out there about panhandling?
I would just say, we really want to make sure that people get their needs met. That's really the idea behind making sure that people get what they need to be able to be successful and move forward. We have other ways to do that rather than handing cash out. We have great providers, some of which are here in the room today, and they're ready and willing to meet that need for individuals. And so we just hadn't seen great success with people taking the cash from individuals. We see more success with people getting connected to services and creating more of a long-term stability plan for their life.
When it comes to the ordinance from earlier this year with the tents, were there many altercations when it came to kind of removing those tents and removing people from those areas?
No, we're still in the planning stages of that ordinance. We have had some scenarios where we've had conversations with individuals, but it's not there. It's not been a tense situation. We can get people connected. Some people don't want to get connected to services either, and that's their choice. And so really, we want to make sure that we're giving people an option. Hey, we've got this service. It's here for you if you want it. We've had situations where people will just kind of pack up their things and move along, and so far, what we've dealt with it's been fine. We're still in the planning stages of that, though, really to get it fully baked, I guess you can say, more along the lines of making sure that people have adequate storage for their items is what we're still kind of wrapping up with that ordinance. Thank you.